This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And he sings. You call that singing? Hi, it's Alex, and this is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that toothless wonder we see in front of us. He's getting it fixed, folks. You know.
Yeah.
He's at the. How old are you now?
66.
66. At 66, his teeth are starting to go.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, you know.
All at once.
I still got most of mine, although I have 3 implants. So.
Right. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. But what I was talking to you. You know, you're good friends with Will Durst.
Yes, very good friend.
In fact, every time I talk to Will, they say, "Oh, Stephen Kravitz, our son."
Right.
You know, they consider you your parents.
Right.
And they have.
I call Will Dad.
They have been to you. They've cared about you. You know, they've been there for you when you needed them.
Right.
You know. So anyway, I finally, you know, every time I try to call him, sometimes he's not there or he doesn't answer. Or you know, he's kind of in la la land part of the time, right? And for folks who don't know about Will Durst, guy had a stroke. Guy's a stand-up
2 years ago.
2.5 years ago, I think.
Is it 2.5 years now?
I think 2.5 years. It'll be 3 in November, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it November or October?
Maybe October. You know, ask Bubbles. He knows every date known to mankind.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
he's the Rain Man.
He's the Rain Man. Anyway, so Will, who does this program, so people know that he's even done it while he's had this after he had the stroke. He's been in bed for 2.5 years. His leg has been killing him, just killing him. And they say, oh, it's a matter of the stroke, and we got to get that leg going, and you've got to be able to stand up on it so that you know. In other words, the leg was a primary concern of theirs.
Right, right, that I know.
He's had pain for the better part of a year in that leg. I mean, sometimes excruciating pain. So they've been trying to figure out what it is, and they say it's the stroke, you know, and it's because of the stroke. He goes to the doctor, and he says, Doc, do me a favor. Would you please x-ray this leg? Just to look at it and see what's wrong, you know, to make sure that it's that. Oh, no, you don't need, we know what it is, you know, but they kept saying, we know what it is, we know what it is, we know what it is. Well, he finally just said, just humor me, give me an x-ray.
Right.
Gave him an x-ray and they meant, oh my God, you've got a broken hip.
Oh, really?
The ball joint in the hip is broken. After 2.5 years in bed and not being able to get that leg going, they found out it's the hip.
Damn.
Is that crazy or what? You know?
That make you lose faith in doctors.
Oh, it's nuts if you think about it.
So what are they going to do? Do a hip replacement?
Yeah, they're going to at the end of the month. And I said to him, well, that's... You know, in normal cases, if somebody told me you have a broken hip, I go, oh my God. In this case, I went to him, oh, thank God. You know, is that all it is? A broken hip? You know, and he went, yeah, it's a broken hip. That's what's causing me all the pain.
How did he break a hip, though, in bed?
Who knows? You know, I'm not even, maybe it could be they were doing all that therapy, trying to get him up.
They might have broke his hip.
They could well have, you know. I'm not suggesting that they did or they did it on purpose.
No, they didn't do it on purpose, I'm sure.
But they did it, you know. But it's amazing. It's just amazing. And I would, Me, if it happened to me, I would be, well, I'd be happy I had a broken hip instead of the stroke causing that. But
Right.
on the other hand, I would be really pissed that
I'd be angry.
nobody caught this earlier.
I'd be very angry.
Yeah. I mean, nobody.
Considering I was complaining about pain all the way through, it's like, why didn't they investigate it? Why didn't they do their detective work? Why didn't they do their due diligence?
Well, I got to tell you, as I get older, like Marjorie, I got to tell you, Marjorie, if it weren't for dentists, she'd have no social life. Okay? I mean, it wasn't for doctors. She'd have no social life. I mean, today it was the dentist. 2 days ago
Right.
it was her knee. A couple of days before that it was something else. Next week she's going to this. The week after that she's going to that. Pop, 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 pop. She has like a whole bunch of doctors. And I keep saying to her, with these many doctors, you should be dead by now. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, but she goes to these doctors. Which, okay, all right, so we've established that. The fact is that I have a group of doctors, but I only have I have an internist, and I have a urologist, and I have a neurologist. Okay?
And an oncologist, don't you?
Well, the oncologist, it's funny, the oncologist, it's like they do what they got to do, and then you're dead to them. They don't really outside of one follow-up that they have to do. That's it. And I called up my urologist finally because I've been seeing the oncologist, and I said, "Hey, I'm wondering, I need to get one of these PSA tests to see how I'm doing, and I write them and I don't hear anything back." And he says, "Fuck them, just come to me." He said, once these oncologists are through with you, that's it.
They're done.
They're done. They've done their work. They don't even know if it worked. They just know it worked up to a point because 3 months in, they give you some tests and things like that.
Right.
So, but I don't have that many doctors, and I don't want that many doctors.
If you don't need them, why would you want them?
Well, I mean, I could be like Marjorie and, my hand is bothering me. I do have a person for the hand, but I only see him occasionally.
What's wrong with your hand?
Well, arthritis, and then I fell on it when I had this big fall, and I fell on the hand to stop myself, and the whole hand to this day really hurts.
My right hand is completely numb. And it's cold. It's colder than my left hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had a mild stroke a couple years back.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you
When I
know?
was living in, say what?
Did you know you were having the stroke?
No.
Didn't know you were having the stroke, and so.
No, I fell down and I couldn't get up. I literally could not get up.
Oh, okay. Well, that's yeah. What I did, I fell. I tripped.
No, I didn't trip on anything. I just fell.
And I where is it? Somewhere here. If you can still see it, it's a little changing color there. I hit there, and the inside of the lip, and then I suddenly realized that my hand was hurting like crazy. I couldn't do this. Okay, I'm still having a hard time doing it, but it seems like it keeps getting better every day. But I had arthritis right here, so they gave me a shot for the arthritis, some kind of steroid or whatever, and it makes it better.
Right.
Okay, no big deal. Very common. I was told by the doctor, right here is the most common place for people to get arthritis. Even if you're not prone to arthritis, this is where you get it for some reason. But anyway, it's still been hurting a lot, but it's getting better. So I'm just letting it get better. But I mean, for a while, this hand was just trashed. But I didn't go to the doctor about it because I figured as long as I keep doing this, I didn't break the hand. But anyway, it's a month ago and it still hurts. It's getting better, marginally better, but it's getting better. See, here we are, folks. This is not a kind of program that any young person wants to listen to.
Well, you don't know that. They
Well,
might want to know what they're going to get into in a couple of decades.
I think they're kind of like, nah, 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 nah. They don't want to know.
Right.
They don't want to know, you know. But I mean, I consider Kravitz and I, Lewis and Clark, and we're forging out across unknown territory.
Isn't that the truth?
Ahead of us is our Sacagawea, who is
Right.
looking in the distance, and we're looking back at you and saying, "Here's what you have to look forward to."
Right. Right. If you live long enough.
If you live long enough. I mean, I'm 82, and every day, who was it? Carl Reiner said that every day when he woke up, he read the obituaries to make sure he was still alive. You know.
Right.
He said, after I looked at it, saw I wasn't there, I then had breakfast and went out.
Right.
It started my day. I start hearing about all these people, so-and-so died at 82, and I'm going, geez, I have this great fear of death. So it's out there in front of me. I've got this, you see him back of me with the scythe?
Oh,
he's
right,
just-
right.
Right?
The angel of death.
Yeah.
Well, I never thought I'd make it to 66. I never thought I'd make it to 40.
Yeah. Well, in a way, I wish I knew when I was going to die. I wish I knew when the expiration date was, because I'd hate to leave any money behind.
Isn't that the truth?
Right now, I'm not spending my money because I don't know how long I'm going to live. And then
Right.
when I die, somebody else is going to get it.
Well, that's okay.
I just figure I figure I'm going to spend it because, well, Marjorie's got an apartment that we can sell. That's going to be
Right.
worth a lot of money, and we're taken care of, I guess, for the rest of our lives. But what if I live to be like I had a friend? We had a friend whose husband got Parkinson's, and as time went on, he had to go into a nursing home. He's been in that nursing home for 3 years. He just died. Okay? How much do you think they were paying a month for that?
I have no idea.
Thank God they had money. They were both lawyers. $18,000 a month.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
$18,000 a fucking month. What a
Man, let the guy just die already.
Yeah,
They
well-
must be thinking.
If I die, with the kind of money we have, I'm in a nursing home with rats. Roaches crawling all over my body while I lie there drooling.
Right, but that's a nicer nursing home than I'd end up in.
Well, yeah, you're right. They just take your body and say, well, wait till you die and we'll just bury you,
Right. We'll just throw a mattress on the floor and you just curl up there until you die.
I'll tell you, what my great guilt in life is?
What's that?
I've yet to put a tombstone on my mother's grave.
I put one, when I was a finalist in the comedy competition, me and my brothers bought a headstone for my mother.
And how long had she been dead?
She had been dead 9 years.
9 years. Okay. Well, my mother's been dead about, I don't know. I think she's been dead, about 15, 16 years, maybe longer.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mom died in 77.
Yeah. Well, I always made a big joke about it, saying, well, I'm just trying to figure out what I was going to do for a tombstone. And I finally decided my father has a very small tombstone. And I don't want to get another small one next to her for her. So I'd put up one over both their graves.
Right.
A big one that says, here lies Ruth and Alex and Ruth Schwarzman, parents of, and then in big letters, Alex Bennett. I want to get my money's worth, for crying out loud.
Well, there you go.
You know
Maybe
what?
have blinking lights on it.
I had a friend of mine who died. Yeah, all my friends die. He was a teacher years ago at the Actors Studio, and
Oh, really?
and a well-known director, and discovered James Dean and so on. Name was Jack Garfien, and married Carol Baker. Do you remember Carol Baker in the movies?
No.
Baby Doll.
Okay.
Yeah, that was her. She had a pretty big career. They weren't married when he died. But anyway, Jack, what was the point I was going to make about Jack? Oh, yeah, so Jack dies, and we go out for the burial at the cemetery. And for some reason, there's a thing with the Russians. I don't know what it is, but we pass all these tombstones,
Right.
and every one of them has a stylized picture of the person on the tombstone.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's like a photograph they've taken and engraved or attached to the tombstone.
No, that's just creepy.
It's but I mean, there were literally hundreds of these, and I'm
So
going.
that's creepy times 100.
I'm going. What happened to the traditional tombstone? What is so wonderful about putting your loved one's picture there? You know, and it's not a picture.
I don't know.
Maybe
I want to be cremated. I want to be cremated. I don't want to be buried.
Well, Marjorie wants to cremate me, and I don't know about. They say I just don't know about any of that. I don't know what I'm going to need after I'm gone. You know, we have no idea what happens after we die.
I think after we die, we're dead.
Well, my father once described it as I told him I was afraid of death, and my father said, "Well, you know, you shouldn't be afraid of it. You've been there before." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Before you were born is like it's going to be after you're dead. And you can't remember anything that happened before you were born."
Right.
You know? And I'm going, yeah, I didn't exist then and I won't exist. Well, I said, it just scares the crap out of me. You know, the idea that, I didn't exist. What was that like? You know? My latest theory is, well, nothing. You know what happens when you die? Everybody ceases to exist with you.
What do you mean?
Everybody ceases to exist with you because there's nothing going on. There's no more of this world in your brain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody disappears. Now, they may still be here afterwards, but we have no concept of that because we're dead.
Oh, right. That's right.
So,
that's right.
So that really, when I go, I'm
Now,
taking...
do you think there's an afterlife?
Is there an afterlife? No, in the traditional sense, you know, heaven, harps, crap like that? No, absolutely not. Do I think?
I agree.
Do I think there's something? I don't know. You know, I mean, there are theories that we don't only live on this plane; we live on several others. There are many dimensions of existence.
Yeah, but they're all just theories. They're all theories. None of it is fact.
I think this is part of string theory, that
Okay.
that this is one dimension, that we also live on about up to 9 other dimensions. And our lives may be different in each of those dimensions, you know, and that perhaps we keep living in those other dimensions. I don't know. I have no idea. You know, I have no idea. If there's an answer to that question, Steve, it's got to be scientific, and I don't know what that scientific answer is. I probably think nothing, you know, and that there's nothing there. But you know, we don't know. I mean, I hate to think that I spent 82 years so far with this brain acquiring knowledge and things like that, only to have it go completely to waste. You know, I hate to think that, for instance, people who I love as performers or as artists or whatever spent their whole life at their craft, perfecting it, and then they die.
Right.
And that dies with them. That all goes with them. Then what did you spend that whole life gaining that ability for? You know.
Well, if you get rewarded in this life.
Well, you get rewarded in this life, but some people don't get rewarded.
That's true.
Van Gogh never got rewarded. He only sold one painting in his whole life.
Right.
You know, it was only.
Well, he was a little nuts.
Well, I mean, if he were alive today, he'd be a multi-billionaire for all that his paintings have sold for.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Either that, or if he were still alive, they'd look at the flowers and go, they're just fucking flowers. Oh look, it's just a starry sky, and it doesn't even look like a sky.
Right. Right.
I mean, who knows how? The only respect he got was when after he died, people discovered his paintings.
Right. Right.
And I would hate it if any kind of legacy I have lives after me, and all of a sudden this great radio guy, have you heard this thing he did then and did this, and I never got recognized for it in my time. Hey,
right.
Recognize me for it now and give me the money, okay?
Right. Right. I feel the same way.
And after I die, no more praises. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say this, but Gilbert Gottfried today is a bigger comedian than a week ago when he was alive.
That's true.
That's
true.
Because everybody suddenly says, here's how great he is. They pull out all this stuff, and you realize how brilliant he was. But
Same thing with Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald was one I missed, oddly enough. I didn't get Norm Macdonald until after the fact, and I saw his body of work because it all showed up on YouTube, and I went,
me too.
This guy was brilliant.
Yeah, me too. Same thing. Same thing, Alex. I wasn't a fan when he was alive.
I was always a big fan of Gilbert's,
Yeah.
But then again, I was fairly close to Gilbert. I knew Gilbert well, and I liked the guy, really liked the guy, and I realized what a funny comic he was. I mean, I've told people that the funniest time I ever spent in my life was at the Pierre Hotel here in New York City for high tea with Penn Jillette and Gilbert Gottfried and a group of other people who were joining in on this. And then Penn started telling a joke. And then Gilbert decided to top him. And then Penn decided to top him.
Was it the Aristocrats?
No, the Aristocrats never came up. We all knew the Aristocrats. We didn't want to hear that joke again. Penn's tour.
Now, have you seen when Gilbert Gottfried does the Aristocrats at a roast?
Oh yeah, no, he's terrific. He was terrific. He was the best teller of that joke.
Right.
Okay. But the equivalent joke was Penn's joke, which is the bear joke.
I don't know the bear joke.
The bear joke. If I told it to you, it would take us the next half hour. If I do it, if I do it justice, I can do the shorthand. And here's a quick shorthand. A guy goes in the woods, shoots at a bear. Bear misses the bear. Bear comes over, grabs his gun, rifle, holds it up at him, and says, "Why'd you do this?" He says, "I'm sorry, I'll never do it again." The bear starts leaving. The guy sees him leaving. He goes, "I can't miss again." He picks up the gun. Boom! He shoots the gun, misses the bear. The bear comes back, grabs the gun out of his hand, said, "I thought you said you weren't going to do it again. I thought you knew that you shouldn't shoot at me, And I really prefer you not try this again." All right. Hands him back his gun. Starts walking away. The guy thinks to himself, 3 times the charm. I can't miss. He picks up the gun, rifle, shoots it at the bear, misses him. Bear comes over, grabs the gun, breaks it in half, and looks at him and says, "You know what I'm going to do?" He says, "I'm going to fuck you in the ass." And he turns him over, and he fucks him in the ass. Big, greasy bear dick, it was just disgusting, just absolutely disgusting. And the bear turns around and starts to walk away. The guy picks up the gun again. He says, "I can't miss." And he's just in pain. His ass is throbbing. He's just in total abject pain. Picks up the gun, shoots again. The bear turns around, comes back, grabs the gun, looks at the guy and goes, "Somehow I don't think you came here to hunt." That's the short version. That's the short version. When Penn told it, it became this opera.
Right.
It was, this and the that and the that, but it takes him a half hour to tell the joke.
Right.
But these were shorter jokes. These were like Penn, Gilbert, Penn, Gilbert, Penn, Gilbert. This went on for an hour. And they were, they were some of the dirtiest jokes you ever heard in your life.
Oh, I bet.
You know,
I bet.
Gilbert, Penn, Gilbert, Penn, Gilbert, Penn, till we're dying from laughter, and people are hearing these jokes at this high tea at the Pierre Hotel.
Right.
You know, and just going, what's with these guys? These guys are crazy. These guys.
But that makes it even funnier.
Oh yeah.
That makes it even funnier because of the situation you were in.
Actually, I screwed up the bear joke. I should have told you that every time he went back, he'd fuck the guy in the ass, and then finally.
Right.
Yeah, so, but I suppose you. I guess you. I imagine you didn't come here to hunt. You know,
right.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, we've run out of time again.
Are you serious?
It just flies by when I'm talking to you. You know. You should be the only person I ever have on any of my shows. We'll just sit here and talk, you know. I'd have Bubbles on with you, except Bubbles doesn't have a camera. Doesn't have the ability to do Zoom.
He has a flip phone.
Well, no, he got rid of that. It broke. It went out of. He couldn't make calls on it because they changed the system. Okay. So
really?
So they gave him a new free phone, and they had to go in the back room and find him another flip phone. So he's got another flip phone. Anyway, hey, my friend, let's do this again in a couple of weeks, okay? You up for it?
All right, Alex.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Stephen Kravitz. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, Alex.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And that's our... Oh, let me turn on my lights here. Hey, wait a minute. There's no light on this side. Come on. There we go. You know what happens? I've got these lights, and they work using Wi-Fi. Okay? I can turn them on and off here using Wi-Fi. And sometimes, see, like this one doesn't go on immediately, and then, well, it decides to go on. I wish they just made these things so they work when you just plugged them on, and that was it. Anyway, hello, everybody. This is Thursday night. And on Thursday nights, we tend to get less people starting to call at the top of the show. I only have one person waiting right now, and if I don't, you know, I mean, I get insulted, you know, when I don't get a lot of people calling me. So anyway, I don't know what to do. Okay, well, let me just bring on this guy because he's a regular and he cares a lot, and he's always here, and he looks forward to the show being here and him being on it. And so we'll bring in Jeff Stein. Let me see here. We go to Zoom panel, and let's see if he's got it. Have you got your audio going?
Got that on.
You got it on. You're fine tonight. You're just fine. Yeah, it's just you and me.
That's right.
Who knows?
Look at that. I'll even be the right vertical.
Wait a minute. Scott Boddicker is calling. Good. Always like to hear from Scott. Hello, Scott. How are you? Scott?
Talk.
Hey,
How you
can
doing?
you hear me?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Scott. And yeah.
2 days in a row, man.
The 2 days in a row, and today it's just you and Jeff.
Hey, and Jeff doesn't talk, and I don't talk. It's going to be pretty boring.
Why don't we just sit here and look at the screen and just, not say anything and just see if right now we have a lot of people watching this, okay? Amazing how many, there are more people, we have a lot of people watching this.
Are they logging off?
No, the one just left us. One just left us. To him, there we go. Okay. But by the way, I think it's kind of useless for me to say this, but if you get a chance, subscribe to our channel because I could use a lot of people subscribing to the channel. I have no idea why, but everywhere you go on YouTube, there's some guy doing like his pissy little podcast, and he's saying, Oh, and by the way, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so you'll be notified when we're on the air. So hit the subscribe button, and please be sure to, if you want to be notified, hit the bell there. That's there. Okay.
I saw a guy on YouTube today, because I know you're into YouTube. And it's amazing. The YouTube's a rabbit hole, I tell you. But it was this guy. All he does is he goes around and finds the gravestones of famous celebrities.
Oh, really?
And I don't know what he does with there. Watch it, but he was just introducing. He found Donna Reed's Ellie Mae Clampett.
Well, I years ago sold the idea for a book to I think it was a Grove Press. I can't remember who it was, and they wanted to do it. I got a call when I was in Norway for the Olympics from my business manager saying they just looked at your proposal for the book, and they want to talk to you, and they want to sign the book to their imprint. And what the book was, it was a book I was doing with a guy that I knew. And what we had done is gone out and gotten the autopsy reports of famous people, because they are public records after all.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you want to go find an autopsy report. Everybody who dies has to have an autopsy.
Well,
All
if
right.
it's suspicious.
I think even if it isn't suspicious, there has to be some kind of report filed. They're death notices.
Well, there was a death certificate, but not an autopsy.
Death certificates. They weren't autopsies. Some of them were autopsies, but most of them were death certificates.
Okay.
And they were death certificates of famous people. I titled the book Final Notice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it was a great idea for a book, but it never got done. I got back to the United States, and all of a sudden, they had changed their minds. So that was it. We started off, the first one we actually got was Kurt Cobain's. And we said, well, this is a good idea for a book. And the guy had been going out and collecting these things. So we went out and collected more of them. We just found you could go online and find them. And in those days, online was not as much as it is now. I could probably go online right now and find death certificates for everybody, So
I guess you just look in county records, or
I guess
where they died.
I forget where we got them all, but you could get
I never tried to look for death certificates, but
we'll look.
Find just about everything else.
Well, you can go look for mine, when it's time.
I bet there is an Alex Bennett out there that's dead. Let me go find that.
Well, newspapers, TV stations, radio stations, all had obituaries for people who were still alive.
Sure. Yeah.
So, if you ever wonder how you're watching some cable network, and all of a sudden somebody dies, and within an hour they have a complete documentary on the guy's life, or the person's life. Could be a woman too. And the reason is because they have these already pre-made up.
Yeah.
And the one you always had hanging on the wall in a radio station or in a TV station, it was in a special little place, was an obituary for the president.
Oh.
Well, whoever the president happened to be at the time. So the minute he died, you could just slap that thing on the air. You were ready to go.
Wow.
So.
We have too many of these little things, man.
What?
Dongle?
They're the little wireless things. I have my computer, have all these there, and I need to take out this mouse for this mouse, and I'm trying to figure out which is which.
Oh yeah, I have like 5 of them in one of my USB things, and I'm afraid to take them out because I just haven't had time to figure out which one is the one for this for this one. And then when this one goes bad, I go buy a new one, and it gets a new dongle. It gets a new USB wireless thing. Yeah.
One of these crazy mice. Is that a mice? Mouses?
Mooses.
What is that?
Moose.
Yeah.
Moose?
Yeah.
To hold it like my hands. I have big hands, so my ergonomics person at work said to use these because my hand wraps around these, and I get carpal tunnel from that. So I have this, and nobody can work on my computer. Everyone tries to do something on my computer, and they just stop because they can't do it.
But you find it easy enough to use.
Yeah, like after the first year. Yeah.
After the first
It was
year.
tough for me, but then Tiffany comes to use my charging station for her work, and then she like throws this at me. So
Well, today I had a thing happen where I got this. Oh, here's Matt Duckworth. Hold on a second. Admit Matt Duckworth. There we go. Here comes Matt. Hi, Matt. How you doing? Anyway, I got a thing from the guy who did my prostate seeds and the radiation that I had done. He was the oncologist, and I got a call from their office, and I went, well, gee, I wonder what this is about. Am I dead? And I just don't know it. Or maybe we have to recall your seeds, or something like that. No, what they were doing is the doctor himself is doing research on how people have done with the brachytherapy, which was the seeds, versus the radiation, which I also had, versus just what they call radical prostatectomy, which is removing the prostate. And they're doing research, and they said, do you want to be part of this research? And I said, sure. So they had to send me this thing that I had to sign, a consent form, so that they could then pry into my butt all over again. But anyway, I said, I don't have to go down there or anything. They just send me, what do you call it? Questionnaires and things like that. And I went to sign my name on this thing. And because of this hand and having, fallen on it, and because of the arthritis, I could barely sign my signature. I mean, you don't really have to sign your signature. You can just go, blah, 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 and they say, okay, that's your signature. But in the old days, didn't you used to have to actually have a signature?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but now I just go, the Bennett I can usually get to. The Schwarzman, forget it. It's just SC, blah. And I have no control. I have no control over this hand. And I'm not a lefty. I can't write with my left hand to save my life. So why would it have to be this hand? Why couldn't it be this hand? I do everything with this hand.
Everything?
I eat yes, everything, Kevin. Everything.
Everything?
Everything. No, but I mean, I eat with this hand. I write with this hand. What else? Yeah, that has hand. Here comes John Larkin. We haven't seen John in a while. Gee, all of a sudden we're getting a full house here. Good. That's terrific.
Hi.
Yeah. Which means Scott Boddicker will now be quiet for the rest of the show.
Last night I was listening on my phone and I couldn't see that. I thought, is that Boddicker? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it was Boddicker. Were you here last night, Brian? I think.
No, I was listening.
No, I
was doing something.
Usually I miss you. Why didn't I miss you last night? I guess because I had Phil, and of course.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah.
Oh,
Phil.
Yeah.
Phil makes.
Between Phil and Alan, I can't get a word in. So sometimes I just throw the white towel.
Oh yeah, don't say Alan. Oh wait a minute, don't say his name 3 times, or he'll call the show.
I'll call in.
Yeah. But anyway, you know what I was watching, and Brian, I want to ask you about this. I was watching a thing today on Teslas. A guy who was reviewing all the models of the Teslas. Do you know they have the Model S, right?
Yes.
They have the Model E.
3.
And they
3.
Have,
no, it's 3.
3.
3, which is the E backwards, so sometimes they use that, yes.
Yes, and then they have the X.
Yes.
And they have the Y.
Yes.
And what does that spell?
Elon Musk is a genius.
Sexy.
Brian said that a couple months ago. I remember that.
Yeah. He has a great sense of humor. I don't know how he'll be on Twitter, but he has a good sense of humor, that's for sure. That's a long plan, to start out with the S and then to say you're going to do Y, and that's like 10, 12
Do you
years
know
ago.
who he used to date or was going with for a while? Amber Heard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. And I don't know if that was before or after Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of that.
Did
she poop on his bed?
what?
Did she poop in his bed?
No. She pooped in his Tesla. Anyway, so I was watching this thing, and the top of the line Tesla,
Yes.
no, the next to the top of the line gets the most mileage on one charge,
Yes.
and it's something like 408 miles.
No, 600.
Oh, is it up to that now?
There's one that's about 640. It's the I think they call it the Roadster,
Oh.
and it's kind of expensive. It's about 250,000.
I'd say that's kind of expensive. What
That's
do you?
kind of expensive
How
for a
rich
car.
are you
Ah,
that you
that's-
just kind of may think that's kind of expensive?
But it does like 0 to 60 in like 1.2 seconds or something like
Yeah,
that.
the Plaid is so fast. My friend just picked up a Plaid, and then my friend just picked up a Lucid. So Lucid is another all electric, and it's like a bigger sedan. And I drove that last night. It's pretty nice, but it's another 130 something.
Which one did you buy? You bought the cheapest one, right?
No, the new one, but they're very good price. They're like 60,000. So
60,000.
it's the Y, so it's the bigger one. Yes, the bigger one. So the family fits in the kids.
Well, I guess
fit
in my day when I was making good money at like Live 105, I probably could afford one because I was driving a $45,000 car at that time. So
Oh yeah, that's really expensive back then.
yeah, so I mean I could afford a Tesla today, but they look cool, you know. And if I knew I could get at least 400 miles to the charge, I think that's reasonable. I don't think you'd ever get into a situation where you couldn't. And they say you can charge to about 80% charge in some cases in 5 minutes.
No.
No, they have. So we did an LA trip for the cruise, and we started here full, and then we went down to Bravo Farms. It's Kettleman on I-5. Kevin, I'm sure, knows that very well. And then we were there, and it's a 30-minute charge, full charge. They have like a little cafe and stuff, and so we usually stop there anyway, so it's pretty funny. So we stopped there, and then we had one other stop just before LA because we wanted to have that.
Well,
we ate at a restaurant right there, so it wasn't really out of our way.
So yeah, but how much of a charge did you get when you put it in? You know, when you stopped and you put
It's 300 miles. Hers is 300 miles.
No. But what I'm saying is how you went to eat, right?
Mhm.
And then after you came back from eating, how many minutes was that? Do you figure?
It was about 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. And how much of a charge did it get?
It went to 100% from 19% to 100%.
In a half hour?
Half hour.
Okay, it's ready for prime time now. You know, it's ready for prime time.
And there was a bunch of Teslas there, and I was worried because when you drive, you can see the map, and it tells you those spots, and it says how many are available. And there was 37 available, and I said, man, that's going to start filling up during the day. And it didn't because people are in, and then they're out.
Yeah, because I see all these ads on TV where they go, and you can get yourself this new electric car, and they show the people just plugging it in, and then later, the next shot, they're driving down the road, and I'm going, I don't know if it's that fast.
Yeah, not 5 minutes.
They're trying to make it look like.
To put gas in your car takes at least 10 minutes sometimes, you know?
There's a video. Musk had this thing. It was a battery exchange, and I don't know if it even went through, but what he did was he showed a guy on the video in this big presentation. The guy was getting gas. So the Tesla pulled up on this ramp in this studio with this audience, and in the background was the guy just pulled up, and they start filling the gas tank, and they start this battery swap. So this thing comes up, grabs a battery, exchanges it with another battery, and the guy's still filling up. Well, that Tesla's done. Actually, another Tesla came up, and they exchanged that battery. So he exchanged 2 batteries before the guy got a full tank of gas in his car.
Yeah.
That's on YouTube.
Isn't there?
I don't think I ever went through because I never see him around.
Yeah, there is a thing where they can just replace the battery. There's a company that has a system where you just drive up, put yourself on this one spot. It just automatically removes the battery, slaps another one in.
That's it. Yep.
Now, also, Tesla's.
I gotta go change the water. I'll be back.
I lied about the Tesla, the Roadster. It's 1.9 seconds to 60, but it has a top end of 250 miles per hour.
Oh, jeez. Well, I don't need that.
That's crazy.
Well, it'd be fun.
My son's office bought one, used. You believe it? and the price was a lot better. And it was because the dealer had used it for so many miles that they wanted to get rid of it because they always wanted to have a new one to show other people.
Well, this one guy who did this thing said he had had his Tesla for 4 years, and there was no discernible depreciation in the battery life.
Wow.
You know, that it's pretty, you know, he said everybody that I've seen on YouTube who's talking about Tesla, who has a Tesla, are all delighted with it, just absolutely delighted with it. Now, the question I have here, and I'd have to wait for Brian to come back because he owns one, what was the question I was going to ask? Oh, yeah. How much electricity does it use, and how much does that cost you a month in electrical charges as opposed to, gasoline?
There are places, Alex, you can charge those things for free, like grocery stores.
Yeah, but how long do you think that's going to last?
Well, until there's too much demand for it, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, what were you saying, Jeff?
No, I think their prices are much better than a gas.
Oh, I'm sure it's better than gas.
Plus,
like
out here,
my son has to
California,
charge his
Okay,
car.
wait a minute. Let me
at
ask
his
Brian.
office.
Let me ask Brian. Brian,
Yes.
you charge yours at home, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is yours a fast charger or just a regular charger that comes with it?
So we had a regular charger, the 110.
Wait a minute. What happened?
And then we upgrade. Well, we're doing the construction on the house, so we upgraded to the whatever it is, the NEMA 115 or something. But the 110, when you have like 25% battery and you put that thing in, it says like 24 hours plus of charge needed. So it takes like 4 days, 3 days if you do it just the 110. But the other one was 8 hours.
Okay, that's the fast charger, right?
Yeah, it's just like your charger, the washer and dryer charger. You know, the dryer,
Yeah.
the dryer plug.
Yeah.
Plug that in, and it's about 8 hours. So for her, it's perfect because she just drives it back and forth to work.
So what do? You have an electrical guy come over and put DC in there in your garage, right?
220 amp, yeah.
Yeah.
220, and then do you have to get a different charger, or can you just use
the cord?
Yeah.
The cord has like that much. That's like a adapter. So there's an adapter that goes with it.
Okay, but
Like an RV.
yeah, but my question is, supposedly there was a fast charger that they have for that you can buy.
Yeah, they have a little unit. It's like $500 that you can buy, and that I don't know how fast that one is, but.
So in other words, you can charge your wife when she comes home, plug it in the morning, you're good to go, right?
Good to go. And then she can go to work actually, and they have chargers there, and you get a card from work, and it's almost like a regulation now. All this Silicon Valley area, you have to have so many. It's almost like handicap. You have to have so many chargers for all the buildings over there. Every building has a charger over there.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When you look out here, it's bizarre, probably compared to what you're used to, because Kevin knows, and even John, you walk out here and you'll see car, Tesla, car, Tesla, car, Tesla.
Or
like every 3 or 4 out of 10 cars are Teslas out here.
Well, I from what this was said on this little presentation that this guy did, the amount of Teslas out there are millions upon millions now. I mean, it's a very popular car.
Yep.
And I think people are seeing it as a reasonable way not to use gasoline. Plus, and this is the nice part about it, but it hasn't gone through yet, if you buy one, the government has a plan to give you something like $8,000
Yeah,
back.
So Tesla's out of money right now for that, but the Mustang Mach-E, I almost bought one because that one still has money. So it's like $47,000 for a pretty base model, and then it's almost $10,000 back. You get like $7,000 from the government, and then there's like 2 other things you can put a bid in for that you can get. But it's almost like $10,000 back.
So really, they're making it very reasonable for people to start getting these electric automobiles. I mean,
At least here.
where
I don't know. I don't know in Plano, Texas, how many Teslas you see.
There are a lot of Teslas actually. I don't know how you buy one. Where's the Tesla store?
To begin with, you have to put down $250 in order to order one.
Mm.
Am I right about that?
We put money to order it, and then it came about 5 or 6 months later.
Yeah, it's not like you get them overnight.
Right.
You can rent them.
Oh yeah. Now they're renting.
Hertz. I think Hertz bought a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
100,000 of them or something.
Well, I wondered how Elon Musk, who I thought was something like number 3 or 4 in the world money-wise, suddenly became the richest man in the world, surpassing Bezos or the top of the line Tesla passes other cars on the road.
Well,
I mean,
in the last 2 years, Tesla's stock's gone up about 30 times its value. It's taken off since the pandemic.
Because I just thought, oh, he's doing those Teslas, isn't that nice? Whatever. I didn't realize that many people were buying Teslas.
Yeah.
Oh, Bezos got divorced too.
Yeah, that didn't help.
Well, that didn't help either, but I still think Musk would still be the wealthiest guy around.
Well, because of his stock. Almost all his wealth is in stock, and the stock is just, fucking exploded in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and he's got 2 things that he's making big money off of, and that's Tesla and SpaceX. SpaceX is a money-making proposition now.
Yeah.
The government is paying how many hundreds of millions of dollars per flight to take these guys up there. You know? And with Russia threatening to crash the space station, we're going to need him on call with a rocket ready to go to the space station and pick our guys up before they try to ditch it, So.
Oh, so funny. Did you see the picture that's floating around of him like 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
Putin?
No, of Elon Musk.
Oh no! What do you?
His hair is looks like he's bald on top. It's really weird.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't look weird now.
Yeah.
I like him. It's strange, but I really like him. There's something about him that is so awkward that I like him. There seems to be no pretense in the guy. He's a little nuts. He's a little crazy, but a little nuts and a little crazy is what got those rockets off the ground and coming back and landing, because it's that thinking out of the box that he has going for him that says, okay, let's do it this way. Let's do that. Why can't these things come back and land? Well, I've never done it before. Well, let's do it. So I kind of like him. Now the question is, what do you think is going to happen with Twitter? Is that going to be a money-making proposition for him?
He'll probably make tons of money on it somehow.
Well, one of the things he's thinking of doing is making it a subscription service. Not giving it away for free. And
is he going to allow naked women on it then? I won't do it otherwise.
Well, it should be allowed, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Who here doesn't want to see some boobies there?
Yeah.
Well, I just, I don't know. No, I'm sure there'll be a no porn. Excuse me, I'm feeling like I have to sneeze. A no porn caveat, but but he's for freedom of speech. Isn't that freedom of speech?
Freedom of expression.
Yeah, I mean,
I just hope he holds back when things go awry.
What do you mean holds back?
Well, that's what they're worried about, right? They said that he gets a little explosive when he has things against people and tries to blast people through social media stuff. So
Yeah, but here's his theory on the whole thing. Marjorie, as I've said, is all worried. Oh, he's going to let Trump back on. Well, does anybody here care whether Trump's back on Twitter or not?
Yeah.
You do care? Why do you care?
Trump is a dangerous fucking thing. Trumpism is a poison to this country. And if you can't see what's going on, then shit. I mean, you're just you're not paying attention.
To quote Roosevelt, all we have to fear is fear itself. I mean, the only reason you fear Trump is because you fear him.
Right.
You know, but if you don't fear him, you disarm him. Really, it's kind of like everybody's afraid of Putin, and that's Putin's power. Why give Trump that power by being afraid of him or what he has to say?
Because it's not him. It's Trumpism. It's what the
Trumpism is going to exist anyway.
That's true, but that's like the Nazis. You want to snuff it out. You don't want to give them any. Okay,
my question is though. Let's say you open up a social media thing like Facebook or Twitter. And your idea is anybody can post anything they wanted to. Hey, on Facebook, you get your wall. You can post anything you want to on it. Now, you've said that in the beginning. But now some people are using it in ways you don't agree with. You don't like what they're saying. And you start censoring that. Aren't you going against the basic principle you used to set the thing up in the first place? Excuse me, I got to blow my nose or I'm going to sneeze. Yeah.
Yeah, you are, because people are abusing it, and you're.
Well, how are you abusing? But you're saying abusing it. You have to describe abusing. And one man, you think somebody's abusing it. They don't think they're abusing it.
Well, like a government, a fascist government, like I don't know what that government in Myanmar or something like that declares that a whole class of people are cockroaches and they should be eliminated, and then all of a sudden their followers start murdering them because of what they've read on social
yeah, but isn't there something we can do even though you allow those people on? And I think if somebody went on Twitter under Musk and called for the death of people should go out and kill other people, I don't think he would let that happen.
I hope not.
I don't think he would let that happen. I mean, he said, we will not censor anything unless it goes against the laws of a country, particular country that Twitter is in, that tweet is in.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Do you? I mean, I agree with Musk on this, and I've said this always. And I mentioned this last night. He said it, and I've been saying it for years, that free speech is absolute. There is no such thing as free speech that gets censored. Now, you may say there's irresponsible speech that would come under in that category, but it's still free speech. Now, you either do or you don't. You could say, hey, this is our home. It's called Twitter. We don't like this kind of stuff. We're not going to allow that. But you don't say, everybody, you can say what you want to say. And that's what they say. And that's what Facebook says. So the question is, how can that philosophy of freedom of expression exist and still have a safety net? And what is that? How do you enforce that safety net? Is it by your standards of what's right and wrong, or by other standards of what's right and wrong?
Well,
the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Both of those.
It's a very slippery slope.
Yeah. It is. What's a joke is these right wingers now, they're all happy because Musk is buying Twitter, and they're saying, he's going to turn it into a free speech, paradise. But before it can become a free speech paradise, we have to purge all the liberals and the Democrats, get all those filthy Democrats that work at Twitter and fire them. That's what they're saying. So
What makes you think that? What leads you to believe that Elon Musk is a right winger or a left winger?
No, he's not. No, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that the right wingers, the Fox News and the Ben Shapiro and all those guys are saying they're applauding that Musk bought the company, thinking that he's going to.
Yeah, but they don't know what he's going to. They don't know.
I know. I agree. I don't know. I'm just saying.
They know that he probably. There have only been a few people that have been banned from Twitter. I think one is Trump. We all know, and I think.
I was banned.
You were banned from Twitter?
Yeah.
Are you still banned from Twitter?
I was banned, yeah, for calling what's that lady that's married to Trump's son? I called her an SF Coco or something like that.
What?
But the lady that was married, what's her name? Guilfoyle.
Mm-hmm.
She used to be
Kimberly
married
Guilfoyle.
to. She was like the first lady of San Francisco when she was married to Gavin Newsom, and I just got pissed off at her. One of her tweets one time, and called her a SF, Coco or something.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Well, that it was you can't say shit like that to people, I guess.
What did you say? You're not making any sense. I mean,
well, I called her. I tweeted back at her. I responded to one of her tweets.
Oh, okay.
And called her a, SF crack hoe.
Crack hoe?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, let's just for a moment pretend like we all own Twitter. Would you allow that? And it was a reply to a tweet, right? It wasn't a tweet you did yourself. You were replying to Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Yeah, well, she tweeted some bullshit, and then I tweeted back at her and called her, insulted her.
Now, are the rules at Twitter against going after people that way?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you can't do that.
To anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, is that reasonable or not reasonable?
That's reasonable.
But reasonable that you should have been censored for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But she's still a crack hoe.
Well, now you said it on my show, and guess what's going to happen with me and YouTube?
Adrian got banned off of TikTok.
Adrian, your little Adrian, what? How old is she now? What? 5?
When she was, she's 6 now, but when she was 5, I opened up a TikTok account with my email on there, and she was doing all these with her crop top, doing all these videos and stuff like that. And they already sent a couple messages saying they deleted it. And then all of a sudden she says, "Daddy, what's banded?" Banded. They said, "I'm banded." I said, "Banded?" I said, "Oh, you're banned. No more TikTok for you."
Well, wait a minute. Now, hold on a second.
Because you have a 5-year-old with a crop top doing all these moves.
She was doing it.
It was doing all, she sees these girls doing these.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because every time you flip through TikTok and there's another large-breasted woman and another large-breasted woman and another.
And all she sees is a dance.
By the way, nobody notices
the dance.
That most
sticks out her booty and do stuff like that. And I'm like, no, you cannot do that stuff.
You know something? Whatever you do, do not buy her a stripper pole. Okay.
I know. I had to take down mine already.
So she was doing that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because she's doing Blackpink and all that stuff, and they're all.
Oh, you got more to come.
Oh boy, you're in for a world of trouble with her.
She's reading now. I have her reading, no TikTok.
Oh, okay. No TikTok. Was she disappointed when she was taken off TikTok?
She didn't want to.
No, she still watches she still goes on there and sees the stuff like Facebook Reels, but no, she's okay.
I don't get what TikTok. I mean, TikTok it's intoxicating because you're sitting there flipping and there's something else and there's something else and there's something else, but they're all really short, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And you can't say anything longer of that particular thing?
Yeah. There's a lot of weird shit on there, though. Like, animals getting eaten by, like somebody's dog getting eaten by a alligator and crap like that. Just horrible stuff on there.
Tiffany watches those pimple doctors where they have like some pimple all white, and then they take the needle and they pop it, and all this juice comes out.
Oh, God.
She watches that stuff nonstop. I go from the back and I see what she's watching. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? So right when you start watching that, more come to her, right?
Yeah.
You know, she just keeps getting more of these and more of these. It's really gross.
Wow. That's amazing. Because, I mean, the thing that I've been addicted to lately, I mean, when there are no more TV shows to watch, I go immediately to YouTube and I just start scrolling through it. And about every fifth one, I stop and watch the 50 ways to prevent testicular cancer or whatever, you know. But, I mean, I start watching all these videos. And the ones that I'm fascinated with lately is this guy called the Scammer. What's the last name? If you type in Scammer, you'll get it. And it's a guy who calls up like scammers, call him or whatever, and go, you know, we want to send you some money, okay? And here, now sign on to this, sign on to that. So he does all that, but he's a hacker himself. And what he's doing while they're doing all of this is he's reverse hacking into their system. And while they're talking to him, now this is from like India in most cases. There's this one place in India he loves. He knows where they are. He knows what floor they're on, whatever. He just is sitting there while you're watching this, erasing all the files on their computer.
What the hell?
Yeah. And you're just sitting there cheering him, you know, because every time you've ever gotten a spam call, you've wanted to do this yourself, but you just never knew how to. Well, he knows how to. He actually has a fake bank account so that when they say, oh, bring this up, and now we're onto your machine and we can see your bank account and we'll send this stuff to you, and they're sucking money out of your account. They're sucking money out of an account that doesn't exist. And then he somehow reverses it, so they wind up giving him money, and he refuses to give it. I mean, it's very funny. It's called, what's it called?
Scammer Payback.
Scammer Payback. Just go to YouTube, type in under find Scammer Payback, and there's a whole channel there of this stuff. And for a while, you will just be mesmerized by what this guy is doing. And a lot of people have tried to imitate him doing the same thing. Very, very popular. In one case, I looked, he had 16 million views.
Oh.
Yeah. So that girl with her makeup tips has to stand aside for that, you know.
When you do your walk, do you need to say, hit the, you know, you need to tell them about your show, because when I see the people that are on there that make comments, they're like, oh, wow, I used to listen to you, blah, blah, blah. You have to every once in a while mention, hey, by the way, I'm on a podcast and da-da-da.
I'm not very good at self-promotion.
I'll remind you.
You know, yeah. I mean,
hit subscribe, smash that like button.
Yes, smash the like button and hit the bell so we can notify you, you know. Boy, yeah. But we got a lot of people watching tonight. I got to tell you. Phone your friends. Tell them all to watch. Okay. Anyway, so, Scott, everything good down there in Texas? Hey, that woman didn't get executed.
They'll still get her.
You think they're going to still get her?
Yeah.
Why do you
Texas.
say? Well, but the court has reversed her death sentence, and now it has to go back into court, and you know.
Well, yeah, they put it on pause so they can have a hearing to see if she can get a retrial, I think.
This is about a woman who had a daughter. She had, how many kids did she have? She had like 11 kids or 12 kids.
I don't
Something like that. And this one young child fell down the stairs and died from a concussion. And they tried to say that she beat her kid.
Yeah.
And then it worked for a day, you know, constantly interrogating her until she finally just figured she wanted all to go away. She just said, okay, I did it. You know? And she didn't really admit to it. She just said, if you want me to say that, okay. You know? And it was something. It was really something. And she was sentenced to death. And she's been on death row for how many years? Maybe, I think
it was 15.
15,
I thought it was 17, but I looked it up. It was 2007 she was convicted.
Yeah. And she's been on death row since then. She was supposed to die this week, and then an appeals court vacated the execution. And now it has to go to another court for them to like either retry it or decide whether they're going to retry it or whatever. But it was one of the few things Republicans and Democrats in your state agreed on. Was, vacating her sentence. Yeah. So that's the big news in Texas. What's the big news in Connecticut, Jeff?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing new.
Where is Connecticut, by the way?
It's right here.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. It's within shouting distance of here. So.
That's true.
And Kevin, how about your neck of the woods?
Not a lot.
Boy, what a boring bunch of people.
No Gilroy Garlic Festival, I guess. It's in Fresno. They announced the one in Fresno, so that's got everybody whirled up.
Yeah.
Garlic Festival in Fresno?
Yep. The first national garlic festival.
Oh, really? And is that known for a place known for garlic sales?
Yep, as well. It's where they grow it. And even Christopher Garlic, who's here in Gilroy, is out there.
Christopher Garlic?
Yeah.
Who's he?
Ranch
Who's he?
Christopher Ranch.
Oh, I see.
It's on most. You look on the labels. It's probably on your garlic out there too.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I mean, the crushed
what
garlic.
You smell when you come through Gilroy.
A bottle of crushed garlic, and it's like Christopher Garlic. Yeah,
Christopher
Ranch garlic. Okay.
If you come through Gilroy, you smell it because that's where they process it, but they grow it out in.
You know what was most intoxicating smell is I used to have a tea top. And I would take the tea top down on a nice warm night in Northern California, which was about once a year. And I would drive up through Sonoma. And during the time when they were stomping on the grapes, they were harvesting the grapes, and the whole valley smelled of wine. You could just smell it in the air. And it was a wonderful smell. I just loved it,
Going into the cellars is always nice, too.
What?
Going into the cellars. I always like going in the cellars.
Well,
where they got the barrels and all that stuff.
Well, there used to be a time when you could go there and you could go into those wineries and sample their wine.
You can still do it.
Well, but now they charge you for it, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't charge you in those days.
No, they used to go for free. Now it's an experience.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, and you swirl it around, you stick it in your nose, and then they charge you for it.
Yeah.
And now they had a big frost issue this last month. And so now all the wine growers down there are all wanting money from the government to help subsidize all their loss. Which is bullshit.
Before that, it was fires because all the smoke.
Yeah, it's risk, right? It's just their business, and if they lose their crop, how do they get millions of dollars back?
They just use the same thing as the cars, the banks and everybody else. They want money.
Yeah. Wasn't there a problem that I think Coppola's winery burned down or something? Didn't it during the last fires?
I'm not sure if his got it, but there was a bunch of them up there that did. Part of his might have.
Yeah.
By the way,
there's a couple of big ones that got it.
Speaking of Coppola, do any of you people have Paramount Plus? You do.
I do.
There's a new show they've got on. It's a series. It's a mini series. Well, it's not a mini series. It's who knows how long. Maybe it's just a mini series. 10 episodes.
The Offer.
The Offer.
Yes.
Which is a drama about the making of The Godfather, and it's fascinating. There are 3 episodes. Huh?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
You saw an episode? I brought this up last couple of weeks ago. And I don't have Paramount Plus, and now I had to buy that to see this show.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Anybody watch Severance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that. That's a good show.
Strange show. Strange show.
Very
That's
strange.
on Apple Plus. But no,
Yeah.
Paramount Plus. I'm paying for it, and because I like it. They have a lot of the Star Trek stuff. Then they've got this. They had that 1886.
1883.
1883. Okay, I'm off by 3 years.
Maybe it's a knockoff.
What's that about?
Oh, wait. The offer. So I asked last week, is the offer is this supposed to be true?
Yes, it is true. It's absolutely
really?
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sort
And I
of.
mean, it's got some
Not-
fascinating.
sort of.
Yeah, no,
Not all
not
of it.
sort of. No, it was
Yeah.
produced by the guy who produced The Godfather,
Yeah.
and the story is supposedly absolutely true. I mean, what they had to go through to get this thing made in New York by having to go to the mob and convince them that they weren't doing a movie that was detrimental to the Italians,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, 'cause
it's really good. It's fascinating. And they put up 3 episodes initially, and then they'll run them at one a week for the rest of the series. But it's good. It's really good.
if I come over and visit this summer, can I just sit there and watch that? with you?
Sure. We'll just set you up in a room, and you can watch all 10 episodes of it.
Yeah, and I heard the stories were like the FBI followed around Mario Puzo for a while after this movie because he knew so much about what was going on. There was so much stuff that was real in the movie that they were interested in a lot of stuff he was talking about.
Well, what they had to convince the mob was we're not making the book. The book was kind of something they could be pissed at, okay? But in the movie, he convinced them. They took him on a little ride over to Brooklyn, and he met with Columbo, and Joe Columbo, and he convinced Columbo. He had Columbo come to Paramount in New York and read the script, and Columbo didn't want to read a whole script, so he just believed that he was doing right by him. He said, the only request I have, and you've got to keep this request, is that nowhere in the film do you use the word mafia. And if you go back and watch Godfather, they never use the word mafia. And in fact, Coppola in it says, well, we only mentioned mafia once in the whole screenplay. And that's when he goes to visit the producer, and the producer says, do you think I want any of you mafia goombas telling me what to do? And he asked Coppola, can you take that mafia reference out? And he said, sure. That's what it takes to make the movie in New York, sure. So they never use the word mafia in the movie. Our thing, the family, whatever. Our business.
Yeah.
But it's not... there's not a mention of the word mafia, so
That's awesome.
Pretty
I want
cool.
to see it so bad,
Pretty
but
cool.
geez, I gotta pay for that.
I wonder why my picture keeps glitching. Does anybody notice that?
I just saw it just now.
Yeah, but it's not. There it was.
Brian, you have 2 McLarens. You can pay for Paramount Plus.
I won McLaren. What are you talking about?
Forget it then.
How many Teslas do you have?
One. So I have 3 cars that drive totally different. So the Cadillac CT6, there's an automatic that you go like this, and then the Tesla you have to shift by this thing, and then the McLaren is a push button shift. Oh my God! Sometimes I start hitting the turn signal when I'm driving one car and it's the
Yeah, wait till you get your other one.
Yeah.
Your second McLaren, right?
No.
Oh.
My 32 Cadillac is almost drivable, so.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Is it going to be ready for West Coast?
Yeah, I think so. We're just going to trailer it down and pull it off the trailer and pull it in and go on the cruise. And you're going, right, Kevin?
I'm trying, yeah.
Okay.
You're going where?
Down to West Coast Customs. The car show down in Santa Maria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's our club's big meet.
There's a channel right next to my news channels. It's a car show channel. Every time I tune it in, like I'll go up to CNN and go one up further by accident, and there it is, and they're showing cars at car shows. Do you know that channel?
Yeah.
Which one is it? Motor Trend? No.
No.
Like cars in octane They have one show that they run a lot different things.
Yeah, but they just show one car show after another. I saw
Maybe
one.
I'll come to your house and watch that too.
Yeah.
And it's a
don't
show
tell
where
me
they're
what
always
it is.
they're
You watch
rebuilding
something.
cars and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well,
But they those places they show it like in 2 weeks. You know, they build a whole car. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You wish.
restoring them and stuff.
hmm
That's car porn.
yeah, for us.
Yeah.
car porn.
Yeah.
Hey Ray, how you doing? Are you doing any work?
Wait a minute.
I was on mute. Sorry. Am I doing work? No, I'm not.
Really?
What? There's no
I
more.
have an audition for another commercial this week.
What do they do?
Yeah.
Close show business down or something, or what?
For old white men, old straight white men. Yeah.
82-year-old guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Diversity and inclusion. Now the white people have no jobs.
Yeah.
Well, especially old straight white men. We're the enemy.
Yeah.
She's doing Game of Tiaras as her next play.
Who's that? That's the
Stephanie. Stephanie. Yeah,
It's
she did
Stephanie.
the Peach, James and the Giant Peach last month, and they're doing another
good.
play. So
good.
At
Good,
school,
good.
or
Yeah.
she.
her junior high school. She's 8th grade.
By the way, we should mention
right.
while we've got Kevin here is that he has a very is it under your channel? Do you have a channel called Kevin Stopper? Is that it?
Yeah.
On YouTube, and he goes out and does these high school bands. Some of them good, some of them incredible, and some of them not so incredible.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just the ones my daughter's in.
I love that ad on TV where the woman is sitting inside her car, and there's this
Oh,
symphony
yeah.
of high school kids playing the
Yeah.
2001
Space Odyssey, yeah.
Thus Spoke Zarathustra theme from 2001, and
That
it's
pisses off
horrible.
me.
It's just horrible. So she just closes the window in her car and lies back.
But yeah,
Pisses
yeah.
off me and my wife every time we see it. We go,
Why-
that's a fucking bitch right there.
Well, some of those bands, you have to admit, are a little out of tune.
But you gotta go with them because they're gonna learn.
Well,
They have to learn.
that's exactly it. And the fact that they're no, have you learned how to play that yet?
I just bought it. I bought it on eBay for $150.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh Jesus!
Just like that.
Yeah.
But you
Listen,
gotta
I-
go through
You could
it.
join.
I sat through a bunch of those. And we had to sit through all that shit. But eventually, now you hear them. They just went through an Otter Band. We sat through an Otter
Yeah,
Band
wasn't the
concert
last thing-
last night.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. They sound like a fucking orchestra.
Yeah. So it's a
That's
place.
high school.
It's a place for kids to learn and make their mistakes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And,
I bought
and for her to sit there in her little Lincoln and roll up the windows and shut them all out, we just sit there and go, you bitch.
I bought a Moot, so it's got electric thing, and I can hear it on my ears. You know.
Yeah,
So if I want to practice and without driving the neighbors nuts.
What?
well,
Didn't you have a couple other instruments too? The ukulele?
About
Did you figure out
six
that
of
one?
I got a clarinet, a couple of guitars.
And from 1 to 10, how good are you at those?
Horrible at all of them. Oh,
So you're bringing the girl over and you got all these instruments, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's a musician."
yeah.
So
Yeah.
John's going to be out on the corner of Larkin and whatever, Eddie out there with a one-man band, like 6 of them tied together.
I'm a musical instrument hoarder.
Hey, listen, there's our theme song. I have no idea. What's it called? Swing That Jazz Stick, it's called. Anyway. Oh, don't.
I'd actually like to get my daughter to do your opening thing on the sax.
Oh,
I'm trying
okay.
to get her to do
Well,
it.
do it. Let's hear it sometime. Anyway, hey, Jeff, thank you so much. Scott, great having you here, pal. Kevin, good having you here. Brian, always good having you here. I just glitched again. I'm going to have to turn this thing off and turn it back on again.
Reboot.
Reboot tomorrow. And because this was happening last night, too. Let me see here. Oh, yes, and thank you very much, John Larkin. And, of course, Ray Renati, thank you as well. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you, okay? There they go, folks. Let me see here. There's my camera. Okay, here we go. And that's it. That's it for tonight. There they go, our citizen panel for this evening. We'll get another one together tomorrow night. And in the meantime, Jack Bishop is next. He's here with The Intersection. And The Intersection will take your calls on Skype at GabNet Live. I'm Alex Bennett. As I said, we'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? And Dr. Fauci says, all clear, folks, all clear. Bye.